So, Titans as a TV show, is it good? Is it bad? I would say it's good-ish. Like, it's almost good. It's almost there, but it isn't. In this video, I'll be talking about Titans Season 3 and how it had so much potential, yet it ended up wasting it. Basically, Red Hood. Yeah, I'm mainly gonna focus on Red Hood, Nightwing, and Batman, since this show has been more of a Bat Family show than a Teen Titans show. I mean, the entirety of this season takes place in Gotham City and has 5 members of the Bat Family, so yeah, you can see where I'm going with this. Well, this video will contain major spoilers for Titan Season 3, so if you haven't watched it and don't want anything ruined, you can click off the video right now. That is if anyone is watching this video, considering I have like, what, 5 subscribers. Okay, so now let's address the elephant in the room, aka Jason Todd, aka Red Hood. Let me start by saying I have nothing against Karen Walters, the actor. He did a really good job with the material he's been given to work with, and he's working out too. Like, he's buffing up, and he looks really good. So I think he did a fantastic job playing Jason. So, Mr. Walters, if you're watching this video, which I highly doubt you are, I love you, man. And now let's go to Red Hood. The season begins with him with Joker killing him right off the bat. No pun intended. Joker beat him to death, so yeah, comic accurate, pretty cool. But in the comics, the main motivation for Jason to becoming Red Hood was that Batman didn't kill the Joker. And guess what happens at the end of the pilot?
He started it. I ended it.
Ended what, Bruce?
But you know what he was doing as I caved in his skull? He was laughing. He laughed at me because he won. You and Barbara were right. It's all a game I should have stopped playing a long time ago. It's over for me now.
Batman kills the Joker. And Red Hood shows up at the beginning of the episode 2 like, oh, Batman's gone and I'm here. Here are some heads I popped off. And yeah. Oh, and episode 3, I really loved episode 3, especially the ending. Like where he made Dawn kill Hank.
Go! Connor's got it! Done!
Oops. My bad. Looks like I gave you the detonator.
No.
Like, damn, that was some Joker level messed up shit. It's actually my favorite moment in Titan Season 3, because I know all of you watching this episode, including me, were 100% sure that Superboy would save Hank with his super speed. And I just love how unpredictable that was, and yeah, that scene made me think that Red Hood might be the main villain of the season, and I was actually hyped. Jason coming up with these cunning and psychological shit to torture the Titans, it sounds freaking awesome. I'm gonna be honest, the first time I encountered Jason Todd wasn't in the comics, it was in the Under the Red Hood animated movie. And he was more of a villain then, so I would actually dig the idea of Red Hood being a full-blown psycho villain. So I was looking forward to the reveal of why he just killed Hank and why he's Red Hood. Because clearly it's not the Joker or Batman. Clearly it was something else related to the Titans. Right? Yeah, well, guess what? It was Jonathan Crane, aka Scarecrow, all along. And I don't know, man, it's pretty disappointing. Like, Red Hood is literally my favorite anti-hero of all time. And one of the reasons is that he challenges Batman's moral code, and the show completely ignored that and made him a fucking pawn. And Scarecrow used the Lazarus Pit. That's just somehow kind of there underneath Arkham Asylum for everyone to use. They try to explain it later in the finale with Ra's al Ghul and stuff, but it's still a shitty explanation. And oh, and Crane also had a Red Hood costume lying around somewhere that he just picked up and gave it to Jason. Like that was still passable. I mean, after all, it was revealed in my favorite episode of the season, episode 5. Yeah, I'll get to that later. Yeah, from episode 6 and here on out, things started getting messy. Like, there's a scene in episode 8, I think, where Jason was literally begging Dick to take him back to the Titans.
What do you want?
I want to come home. Be with my friends. Be a Titan again.
You killed Hank.
That wasn't me. That was the drugs talking, Crane talking too.
And then an episode later, he does a complete 180 and he's punching the shit out of the Wayne family portrait and he's full on with Scarecrow again. Like how? How did that happen? Did the writers forget? Like, were the episodes airing out of order? I mean, they didn't even mention that he tried to come back, that he called the ambulance for Dick and all that. I mean, he does get redeemed at the finale. It was way too weird, man. Like, Jason does a good job playing a puppet, and him doing complete 180s and shit are based on people manipulating him, like Bruce or Crane. But he does way too good at that. That it's not Red Hood. He's not Red Hood. He's some other character called Red Hood. Like he's not the Red Hood that I'm in love with. And I feel like his flips and switches are due to the show being 13 episodes and them trying to stretch his arc into 13 episodes. Because I feel like it should have been, like, it started with evil, 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 and then he figured out the drug was controlling him. And he's kind of evil, kind of evil, kind of evil, and then turns good and joins the Titans, and I don't know, maybe kind of like that. But then the writers were probably like, hey, we gotta keep the audience engaged in what's happening, so yeah, we got the 180 flips. Also, he ditches the Red Hood helmet for some reason after his last fight with Nightwing, and I mean, secret identities in this season doesn't even matter. Like, the cops literally know who Dick Grayson is. They're literally like roaming around Wayne Manor, going in and out of the Batcave, and like thousands of people, 100 at least 100 people know who that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and
The Hood is back!
yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, like secret identities here are totally thrown out the window, and yeah, I hate that. I don't. Well, I said I'd talk about Nightwing, but I've been going on about Red Hood, so yeah, like Nightwing had a small arc about being better than Batman, I guess. I mean, his Finding Nightwing arc, that was pretty shit. Like, I didn't like it at all. I mean, he didn't find Nightwing. He went into the pit with the Nightwing costume and came out without it. So he didn't find Nightwing. If anything, he lost Nightwing. Like, I mean, but I do like him being super excited for that RV road trip while the rest of the gang just sadly looks at the jet. Yeah, that was so Nightwing from the comics. Oh, and a bit of a tangent here. I want to talk about Crypto. Yeah, the one and only Superdog that was barely in the season at all. He only had 2 memorable scenes, where he was sadly walking out of that explosion after Hank died, and where Dick just spit kryptonite in his face. Just that. He wasn't even in the finale at all. Like, maybe I'm not, but I don't remember him anywhere else. I feel like they could have developed him much more, like how James Gunn developed his animal characters in his movies, like Sebastian the Rat from the Suicide Squad 2021. Now, Batman, I have to talk about Ian Glenn as Bruce Wayne. Back in season 2, I felt like Ian Glenn would suit the role of Alfred more than Bruce. I loved him as Jorah Mormont in Game of Thrones, but I thought he was too old and British to be Bruce Wayne. But they proved me wrong with his phenomenal performance this season.
The city does things to us. We can take the worst parts of ourselves and put them in control. Sometimes I think it's alive. Like it has a will. And it wants us to destroy ourselves. I've lost too many people to Gotham.
Like him portraying a perfect, broken Batman. Now, that is why episode 5 was my favorite episode. The father son relationship between Ian Glenn's Bruce Wayne and Karen Walter's Jason Todd was so well written, and their acting was just so powerful.
I don't want you to be Robin.
You talked to Leslie.
I didn't speak to her. This is my decision alone.
Bullshit. Hey, what did she tell you, that I'm a fucking mental case?
She didn't tell me anything. This has nothing to do with your psychological condition. Just
I
here.
did exactly what you asked me to do. I went to Leslie. I talked to her. She's helping me out. Please don't take this away from me.
You don't need to wear a costume to be my son.
Like, that made Ian Glenn one of my favorite live action Bruce Waynes. Although there was this one scene in like episode 9 or 10, I think, that didn't make any sense at all. So like, Batman was in this giant castle, right? And he was attempting to commit suicide, which I'm not sure how I feel about, but he lights his castle on fire. And then suddenly he's knocked down on the ground for some reason. And then Donna Troy shows up at the scene, woke him up, and then just left. And never mentioned that again. I have so many questions for that scene. First of all, Donna Troy was dressed in white Themysciran clothes when she was dead. And then she came back to life and is suddenly in normal clothes. Like, what? And how did she find Bruce? Like, Bruce made sure he was away from everyone. How did she find him? And plus, how did she get there so fast? Like, she's fast, but not that fast. And I'm assuming she told him about Jason, but he still fucking killed the Joker. Also, in the finale, we'll just have to assume that Bruce is gonna be Batman again, and all these cops who know, like, they know who he is, and he also killed the Joker. I mean, he killed the freaking Joker, and nothing big is happening. It's weird. It's very weird, because in the comics, whenever Batman kills the Joker, something fucked up happens to the rest of the universe. Well, anyways, moving on. The biggest problem of the show is, like, I don't inherently think the idea of what's happening is bad, although the finale was pretty bad. I mean, what did that lasso even do? Or how like, all the people that died indoors, how would the Lazarus Pit rain affect them? Also, why? Why the Lazarus Pit? I mean, come on. Well, anyways, it's still better than last year's finale. Anyways, I feel like they stretched the stories out because there are way too many characters that I mostly don't give a shit about. Especially that whole Starfire and Blackfire storyline. That was really boring. I mean, the selling point of this season was Red Hood. And you expect me to care about some, I don't know, weird non-comic accurate homicide of Starfire that swears a lot? Yeah, no. Also, Raven wasn't even in the season for like the first 9 episodes. But I am glad that Beast Boy finally turned into another animal other than a fucking tiger. Finally, after 3 seasons. Doom Patrol is still the best DC show currently airing, with Stargirl, Batwoman, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, etc, etc. I watch all DC shows, including Y the Last Man, which was unfortunately cancelled even before the first season aired. Yeah, I know, yeah. Okay, I'm going into tangents now. Okay, so anyways, I was planning on making this video into a Titans video. I was gonna name it The Wasted Potential of Titans Season 3, but it's more about Red Hood, so I guess I'll just name it The Wasted Potential of Red Hood. I didn't even talk about Barbara, or that Argus twist, or Superboy, or Tim Drake. Oh, and yeah, that Roy Harper name drop. I'm not surprised by it, I'm not hyped by it. Because they also did the same thing last season, and that went nowhere, so yeah. And plus, we already got a pretty good Roy Harper in Arrow, so I don't really expect another one. Overall, this season was, to describe it in one word, it was weird. Like, yeah, I heard there was some drama behind the scenes, but I don't give a shit about that. Like, just write a good show. People were saying this was going to be the best season, but it wasn't. I personally think season 2 was better, ignoring the horrible finale. Oh, and almost forgot about Scarecrow. Yeah, he's the main villain. I mean, I would have liked him better as a villain if he wasn't puppeteering Redhead. I mean, sure, I guess. I mean, I have so many questions about all the questionable continuity errors that the writers just kind of forgot. I mean, remember Molly, like whatever happened to her, or Lady Vic? She showed up for like one episode and then she just kind of disappeared. And remember when Blackfire took control of a pregnant woman's body in the end of season 2? Yeah, I wonder what happened to that. And remember when Corey lost her powers at the end of season 2? Yeah. What happened to, like, what exactly happened to Nightwing's suit when Dick went into the Lazarus pit? Also, why did Rachel Gould just put a random Lazarus pit in Arkham Asylum? Like, also, what happened to Rose and Jericho? There's nothing. Like, they didn't even mention him at all. Why did it take so long for like Jason to betray Crane? He did, like, yeah, I've already went into that. Yeah, and why didn't Dick think to use his team to take down Crane sooner? Like, every fucking time he's like, oh, I can't do this alone. Hey, Connor, smell some kryptonite. Yeah, smoke some weed. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so... yeah, I'm gonna end the video now. So, well, if anyone is watching this video, I just created this channel and this is the first video with my voice in it, and I plan to upload more Marvel and DC stuff, so subscribe to my channel if you're interested. Bye!